What I'd like to show you is how to turn text that you've generated using the font plugin into a continuous pattern. And we'll do that by going plugins, fonts, put in our text, we save the file, 221A, and it fires up here. If we're looking at optimize, every letter is separate. That's no good. The simplest way is to get it to underline, so that we start from here, go 1, 2, 3, 4. But we need to, first of all, move that start point, because I want to start at that point and end there. So we need to move the start point on the first two. We do that by changing the start point and coming into optimize. So that's 1. That needs to become 2. Okay, so we managed to move that start point. The next problem is the 0 here. We need to join the outer boundary to the inner, and we do that by pulling it apart. Let's come here. I did that because when I zoom in, it likes to zoom in on a highlighted node, and so I highlighted the node and zoomed in, and then we got where we needed to be. I'm going to break this into two by just clicking on it and pulling it apart. And I'll do the same with the top one. We can join these two together now. I'm going to highlight this and join them together. Now when we look into optimize, there's our first. I need to change that to 2. So that's 2. Change that to 3 so that it's going round. So there we go. Now, so that's 2. I need to change that one to 3. So we've now got 1, 2. Change that to 3. 3, 4. So we're getting close to being able to start there and end there. But our O looks a bit messy. So we need to tidy that up. And we'll do that by just bringing that down to here. And that down to here. Snap those together, and I'm just going to join those together. Okay, so I'm going to move that over a little bit so it's more central. One tiny, just keep coming over. Because they're highlighted, it's not breaking it, it's moving it. So now if we look there, almost a straight line, except that the O is lower than the 2. So if we look on here, let's select everything and bring the 2's so that they're on that line, and then we'll see how far. So the 2's on the line, and we can see that the O is above it, or is below it, so it's never going to line up. So I need to move that up. But what I need to do is shrink it a little bit, because that's almost level with that. And if I just move it up, then that goes too high. So I'm going to size it down a tiny bit. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to bring the size down a tiny bit. I'm going to move it up a tiny bit. If I take the nodes out, I can then see I'm on the line, and that at the top is almost correct. So I'm going to put the nodes back on and select everything. Now we can go back into Optimize, and we'll see that that line is dead straight. We're starting at this point here, and we're finishing at that point there. Now, in theory, what we should do is just remove all, and we'll be quit sim. Except that there is a bug in the PattenCAD Optimize. So I'm going to do remove all, not connect. And see what happens? The pattern goes completely haywire. But not to worry, because we can undo that. If we come out of there and we save it, we'll save it back onto there. We could then go into Select and Sews Optimize, because that one doesn't have the bug. And so if we go into Optimize here and say remove all, and don't collect for the endpoint, it's now done removed all the stitches. We can now save the pattern and come back into PattenCAD. Zoom in. Having done it in there, it's put all these extra nodes in, so I'm going to simplify it again. And we'll save it because we've simplified it. Now that can work as a rough and ready text file, because if you're in a border and you're near a seam, that will look quite good. The other bits you can do, because not everybody wants underlined text, you could actually make it a border, put a box around it, and that can make it look really, really nice. And I'm going to show you how to do that in part 2. So this is part 1 of just making the text a continuous line pattern. The second part, I'm going to put a lovely border around here. So thank you.